Okay, there are two products in the world that really don't require any expertise or anything particularly special to sell. One is drugs, the second is money. Money and drugs sell themselves. That being said, the reason I started Business Builders Alliance is because I got tired of hearing people being turned down for things that they didn't quite understand why, and these were people who were highly capitalized but were turned down for loans because something just didn't seem right with the lender. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to for people to understand what does it take to get a business loan from a conventional lender, i.e., bank, etc., something of that nature. And it really comes down to some really basic things. Um, this is the criteria for Lending Tree, but it's no different than anybody else's. The first is basic business and personal information. Your EIN number, that thing you get from the federal government so you can pay your taxes on your business, that thing has to match with your legal business name and registered in your city, state, and county. A credit score of at least 500. That goes without saying. Your FICO needs to be at least 500, but they typically are looking for 670 or higher. And that's on your personal side. Up to 2 years of business history. And that has to be verifiable business history, meaning they're able to pull bank statements, they're able to pull credit card statements, they're able to pull outside vendor statements for at least 2 years. Proof of revenue, once again, bank statements every month. And they're looking for as little as $30,000 and as much as $250,000 before you're even considered for a business loan. If you aren't pulling in at least $30,000 in revenue, you're a hustle. You're not a business. Okay? Some form of security, stocks, bond, land, trust funds, uh, things of that nature. That's what they're looking for. Now, everyone doesn't have to have it, but they're basically saying, hey, why should we loan you money and you got nothing to lose? If you got nothing, you got nothing to lose. So why are we going to lend you money? Um, you got to have a plan, meaning we give you a line of credit or we give you some funds. We need to see a business plan that says this is what's going to happen to X amount of dollars. Uh, you need a plan for how much you need and what it is. And last but not least, financial documents to prove that you can repay the loan. Well, God darn, who would have thought they would want proof that you can repay them? And that's what it's all about. So when we started Business Alliance, we had these things in mind, and that brings us to uh, where we are and what we're doing to qualify for your business. Give me a second here. I'm going to pull up Business Alliance's page, and there you go. Find a perfect business loan to fund your growth, and click here for eligibility, and it'll bring up a slight questionnaire, because we're trying to figure out who are you, what you're looking for. Now, one of the easy things we can do, if you're wondering, like, we have 40 plus business options available to meet your everyday funding needs. All you got to do is schedule a funding strategy here. What things do we do? SBA loans, startup financing loans, alternative loans, lines of credit, specialized loans, secure loans, equipment financing, etc. Basically, we fund anything that's business related. And there's this thing called fundability. This is the magic to what we do. What fundability does, it gives you a platform that gives you all those 8 qualifiers I just talked to you about that will help you build your business credit and make you fundable to any lender. That's the whole key. So it comes down to this. Do you want to be in business and do you want to grow that business? And it's better to have money and not need it than to need money and not have it. You know, it's a survival thing. So that being said, why don't you book a funding strategy with us and see what we can do for you?